Youngsters 2 is a game made in 2008 by a Russian developer, and I don't really know anything else about the game because of that. I don't know if you could tell by my accent, but I'm not Russian, so I can't really say anything else about the game, except for what its contents are. And I want to talk about that because I genuinely really enjoy this game and I want more people to know about it. Youngsters 2 was distributed by Big Fish Games in America, and I don't really know too much about it, so according to Wikipedia, it is a developer and distributor of casual games for computers and mobile devices, and the rest of the page is talking about its controversy. Well, it's a good thing this game is on Steam, so I don't have to talk about this company anymore. So, Youngsters 2 is a random obscure game that nobody's ever heard of, and when you look it up on YouTube, the most popular video is like a few hundred views. So, I don't know how to get into talking about the game. I'm just gonna do it right now. There's not really a story in Youngsters 2, so we can skip the whole story part and premise. The biggest thing you need to know is that the youngsters are musicians and they are going to travel the world, and that's about all the story that you're gonna get for this game. It ain't a story-centric game, it's a gameplay-centric game, and honestly, the gameplay is a whole lot of fun, so let's get into that. So there are multiple colored fruits and there's multiple colored youngsters. You get the youngster to eat the fruit corresponding with their color. There is a moving line of fruits in the top corner that show you what fruits that you need to eat, and if the fruit makes it to the end of the line, then it will pop out into the field, causing more fruit to fill up the area, making it harder to finish the level. Now, in the original Youngsters, that was all you had, except for two other gameplay mechanics, being fruits will freeze over time, so you have to either click the fruits or just not let it completely freeze over, or you won't be able to eat through them. And also the bug. I hate the bug. The bug will run into random youngsters and make them stop eating fruits, and it gets extremely annoying and can also end runs. I hate the bug. I hate the bug so much. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty simple. So, when they were making Youngsters 2, they decided to add a new type of youngster, which is the professional youngsters. That's what it says on the fandom page that I found for it, so I'm going to call them professionals. There are 7 professional youngsters, and they're called professionals because when the little bar above their head fills up after eating enough fruit, they will have a special ability activate, and they all have very different gimmicks from one another, making them all special in their own little ways. Let's go over them. Commander is the most simple one. Basically, he just speeds up the eating speed of all the youngsters when he's eating. That's pretty simple. The detonator is pretty self-explanatory. After finishing a food, he will blow everything in a 1 block radius up. This can include frozen food and also fruits that do not correspond with his color, so it's really good for clearing things out when you just need to get rid of a bunch of random fruits. Super Youngster? That, I think it's supposed to be saying Super Youngster, which is what it says on the wiki page, will become an RGB Youngster, which will allow him to eat through every piece of fruit, including frozen fruits, making him just really good for a lot of levels that have super fast freezing fruits and also just a bunch of random fruits. He's my favorite. Bendy Youngster has a sort of situational ability where he can bend in any direction when eating through fruits instead of just going through a straight line of fruits. This is useful like only for levels where there are only bendies. There's not really too much other use for her. I mean, she can be useful for 2-color fruit levels, but that's about it. The ghost can phase through any object or fruit color it doesn't correspond with to eat all the fruits that it does have the same color for. This one's my favorite. He can come in very useful and is very common, so makes a lot of the levels a lot easier, and it's really useful. The miner is my least favorite Yumpster. I really don't like his ability. It's very situational and it usually doesn't work in your favor, and it's becomes a lot of inconveniences. Basically what he does is after eating a fruit of his color, he will dig a hole in that location. That might sound useful, but like when you're trying to set things up, it really doesn't work out too well, and you'll just end up not using him all too much or trying to avoid using him because he can set up for a lot of problems. The Flash Yumpster will delete every fruit corresponding with her color. This is extremely useful and is also probably my favorite Yumpster in the game. It comes in really useful in a lot of situations, and I just really like her a lot. Now, these Yumpsters are paired up with each other and constantly mixed up and matched up with each other, so it's pretty easy to rank them best from worst: Ghost, Flash, Special, Detonator, Bendy, Commander, Miner. One thing I'm not really that big of a fan of is that none of the Yumpsters really synergize all too much, and there's not really much support when it comes to professional Yumpsters. I mean, sure, the Commander can speed up the eating process, but like, he's barely used at all, and even then, he's not all too useful. I mean, you can spam click the Yumpsters to speed up their eating, and that works just as well, and I usually just forget that the Commander is there. Also, the Miner just sucks, so bad support. And the levels that use the Miner's gimmick are all of the worst ones. They're just all terrible. They all suck. The closest we get to support and other stuff like that is with the little tokens that will sometimes appear on the field that can do things like change all of the fruit's color to a specific color, or get rid of the bugs, or defrost all of the fruits. That's really everything you got. Though it's not that big of a deal. This is a very simple game made a long time ago, so I don't think they were really thinking about too much in-depth gameplay. And they still use as much of the professional Yumpsters as they can with all the levels. There's 60 levels in this game, and they all use the Yumpster gimmicks pretty well and pretty good. Now on to the criticisms. This game takes way too long. The levels take upwards of 5 minutes to complete. Why? I don't know who thought that was a good idea. They take so long. It's so drawn out. This game had a potential for speedrunning. I could think of it could be a fun game to speedrun or just do different things with. But the levels take so long to complete. I wish the levels were shorter by like 2 minutes. And the lengths can really hurt, especially if you're playing harder levels where you think you're almost done and then you look up at the green progress bar and you're not even halfway through. It's a pain, honestly, and I wish the levels were much shorter, or at least had different lengths, because they all feel like they take around the same time to complete unless they're gimmick levels. Also, the frozen fruits. I haven't gotten into this bit too much, but the frozen fruits are extremely annoying for Yumpsters that aren't the Ghost or the Special, because they can't be bitten through and they can't thaw out except when you use a rain token. But like, those could appear at complete random, and they have to be in an empty slot. And sometimes, even in the harder levels, you don't have the pleasure of having empty space for tokens to spawn in, so it's even more annoying. And in a harder level especially, ice is extremely annoying because fruits freeze extremely fast. Now, of course, you can get rid of the ice before it's fully frozen by just clicking on the fruits, but sometimes that just becomes too much. And also, you also have to manage what the youngsters are doing and speeding up their eating, so it can become a little overwhelming. Next, criticism. What is the lose condition of this game? I genuinely don't know what it takes to lose, and it's not in the saying that the game is easy. No, the later levels can get pretty difficult, but I do not know what the condition of losing is. I originally thought it was if the field is full of fruits and the fruit line that shoots out other fruits fills up and there's no fruits to go shoot out into the field, then you would lose. I mean, that would make sense. It would completely overflow, so you would lose. But, like, sometimes that isn't even the case, and I don't understand it. I don't understand what the lose condition is, and I wish that was clear. Maybe it is in the instructions. I don't know. Maybe one of you can tell me what it is. Final criticism. The bugs. I hate the bugs so much. The bugs are the most annoying part of this. So, bugs. If one of them touches a youngster, then it counts as a bump and the youngster will go back into his hole. It's very annoying and I hate it a lot. This doesn't affect Ghost, of course, but I just hate the moving obstacle so much. It's the worst thing ever. And it's supposed to be like the neck of the youngster that the bug is supposed to touch, but like it can also just bump into the youngster if he's eating, because the youngster's head moves around the fruit. If it moves outside the fruit and the bug runs into it, it bumps. I hate it so much. It sucks. It's terrible. And butterflies are the same way for some reason. Their gimmick is supposed to be they land on a fruit so you can't eat it, but they can sometimes just land on a fruit a youngster is eating and then bump them as well. It's completely unfair. I hate it so much. Now, really, these criticisms aren't too much of a problem. It's just the game gets harder, and sometimes the difficulty increase means making the game a little more infuriating. That's fine. It's completely fine. It just gets more annoying, and you sometimes have to get used to it. So, whatever. Let's go back to some praises. I really enjoy the art and music of this game. Every location is a different country in the world, and every country has a different style to it, a different aesthetic, and different music. And also, a little detail, the more youngsters that eat, the more instruments that start playing in the background music. I think that's really charming. And also, I like the music itself. Every piece of music is different to fit in with the aesthetic and culture of the country that everyone is in. I think that's really cool. A lot of care was put into just the aesthetics of the game, and it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. The music is also a fun thing to listen to. Even some of the more annoying tracks, they're still alright pieces. I don't really know if I have anything else to say about the music.
Just kidding!
Surprise rhythm game segment, go! Yes, that is right. There is a random minigame segment at the end of every world. The country... At the end of every country, there's a rhythm game section. Why is there a rhythm game section? Because music, I don't know. Where you will invest all of the money that you accumulated in the country and then put it into the most expensive instrument that you can buy, and then use that instrument to play a rhythm game mini game. It's a rhythm mini game. That's what I was trying to say. And honestly, I'm a fan of this little pace breaker. I like this mini game. It's a fun time. You just click a lot. That's how you win. There's not really too much rhythm to it. I guess there's a huge space where you can click wherever, so it's not too hard. It's really the easiest part of the game. Also, the mini game is literally skippable. You can just skip the minigame if you don't want to play it. I recommend the minigame parts, though. It's fun. It's a fun little thing to do, to click. Also, it's probably the only section of the game where you can hear all of the backing tracks with every instrument included. I mean, that's not something you're gonna get very much of throughout the entire game because youngsters are constantly eating after one another. So it's sort of hard to get a full combo, but whatever. I just recommend it because of the music. It's yeah, that's why you play rhythm games, because of the music. Of course, it's why. I don't know where else I'm gonna take this video, so in conclusion, play Yumpsters 2. It's an old game. I cannot guarantee if you will be able to run the game, because it's completely random from what I can tell on which devices it will run on. So, I think someone should probably get that fixed. If there's anyone that knows how to fix problems, you should probably check out the Steam version of Yumpsters 2, see if you can do anything about that. I'd also love to know anything about the development of this game. Really, I'm just curious about anything about this game. I mean, it was made in Russia. I can't really get too much information about it, so if anyone knows anything about this game, comment about it. I love to read up on anything people know. This is a fun little game. It's $5, it's pretty cheap, and I think you'd be pretty satisfied with what you get for a $5 game made in 2008. It's fun. I recommend it. I don't know where I'm taking this. This is the conclusion of the video, though, so, click off, or you will be forced to listen to me drag this thing on until I know when to click the stop button for this recording. I can't help myself. I need to click the button right now. I need to stop this video. But when will I stop this video? I don't know. It'll happen anytime soon. Where am I taking this? I don't know. Go play Youngsters 2. It's a fun game.
ダメだこいつ。死んだか、それとも未来へ冷凍保存されたか。